Uh, all right. Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
This meeting today is in English, and it's addressed to an international audience. Although the things that are being said have to do with, at least centrally, have to do with Greece and the situation in Greece. And many of the people who have the most relevant things to say, when I say relevant, I mean relevant to the opposition to the anomalous situation that we have been living with, particularly for the last couple of years, and not only in Greece, of course. Or many of the people who have the most relevant things to say don't feel at home in English. So apart from what we're saying today, we're going to be repeating some of this in Greek also, but not now. I'd like to start from the year 2010. Now, in the year 2010, there was what's called the movement of the squares. It included what were called the indignados, and in Greek they were called the aganaktismeni. They were people who are angry about the political situation that had virtually started in 2008. Now, Dimitris Kazakis and the EPAM party were prominent at that time in Greece, but the media and the politically strongest political currents decided to sideline EPAM and give priority to Syriza and to Alexis Tsipras, and they became the government in 2016 for 3 or 4 years. At that time, Dimitris Tsibouris, who is a long-time resident of Aegina, like me, he supported EPAM. But unlike me, he was not willing to do this publicly unless EPAM could successfully form an alliance with other tendencies, such as, not then, of course, but now, the Eleftheri Xana, which means free again, party of Fedon Vovolis. Now, I didn't feel I was able to, put my foot down about things like this, but Dimitris did. And through insisting on this, he, together with another well-known resident of Aegina, Eleni Kypriou, he managed to bring together a number of different tendencies in a public meeting in Aegina on the 22nd of May. This was an important step forward. Now, one distinctive feature of EPAM, the party EPAM, is the significance that it attaches to the establishment of the Greek state that was achieved in Aegina on the 26th of January, 1828, autonomously, unlike the later internationally recognized establishment of the Greek state that was achieved in 1833 under Bavarian supervision, and finally with a Bavarian king, after the assassination of Greece's first governor, Kapodistrias. Now, this recognition of Aegina may have been one factor for the support of EPAM and of Kazakis personally by the actress Katerina Moutsatsu, from a family attached for generations to Aegina on both sides. Katerina Moutsatsu later married. She achieved some kind of, she became well-known internationally. Well, she became well-known, particularly in Greece, but not only. She later married and she settled in California. But she retained strong links with Greece and with Aegina in particular. Some of the participants in the May 22nd meeting in Aegina had formed a movement which is called SYNEPEIA, which means consistency. And in July 2002, they issued a declaration focusing on these points: the impoverishment of and the economic enslavement of the Greek people, the abolition of any principle of democracy, deepening of the demographic problem, the worsening of the issues created by a very large influx of refugees and migrants, the dangerous foreign policy, and the abolition of the independence of the judiciary. Now, for whatever reason, more or less, it was more or less left out of account, the factor of human and environmental damage caused, particularly over the last 2 years, by lockdowns, by mandatory vaccination, censorship, and everything else that's associated with what's been called the Great Reset. Even though there's a difference between SYNEPEIA's attitude towards these matters, they, in their statement, they did not make them the center of it. They did not put them at the center of their focus. Now, the existing political system in Europe and in the United States and the advanced industrial democracies is based on principles of pluralism, or in fact, the phenomenon that has the strongest influence on the quality of life is social fragmentation, otherwise known as divide and rule. Divide and rule, I say, cannot be countered effectively by an emphasis on pluralism. Social fragmentation can only be overcome by starting with issues where there is general agreement, consensus, making voting unnecessary, making party membership irrelevant. In secular democracies, religion already has this character, and the same status can be given to political party membership, if there is political will to do this. The text distributed by SYNEPEIA continues, and it has this in conclusion. Political organization of citizens can be achieved through the formation of local citizens groups in each town for the purpose of conducting open assemblies for information exchange and for decision-making. SYNEPEIA will provide wholehearted support to every local citizens group. Now, one basic issue to be determined, this is what I would like to start our discussion with, if you don't mind. One basic issue to be determined is what is the dividing line between establishment politics and the new forward-looking citizen politics. What is the dividing line? Is it the boycotting of the mass media? I think Robert has had a few words to say about that, and I certainly agree with them, with what he said, and I would like to take it even further. Is it that? Or is it the boycotting of mediated communication in general, so that we don't want intermediaries, that there's no need for them any more than there was a need for priests, according to the Protestant Reformation, as it were. They were removed. Could the same be done now? Should it be done? Or is it the rule of consensus? Is this this idea that I mentioned of consensus being a basic principle and a starting point for what our citizens groups should be doing or starting to do? Is this the basic distinction between forward-looking citizens politics and conventional politics of the kind that we want to overcome? And anyway, this is where I would like to start, and that's all I have to say. That's my introduction. So, who would like to say something now about this? And then, if this isn't, other subjects also can be introduced, but this is the subject that I would like to introduce and have introduced now. Vivian wants to say something.
Vivian, yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I don't have a very good connection today, and that's why my video is not turned on. If I understand your question correctly, between the interruptions I had
right.
on
Yeah.
the internet, if I understood your question, is it to boycott media? Is it you would like us to choose which avenue to take with regard to what's going on today? Is that correct, Wayne?
Well, no. I was just saying, what's the distinction between what we're trying to do and what is already being done in politics? Is the idea of boycotting the media, and more than boycotting the media, having an alternative where the media doesn't count at all. That's where I would like to take it. But is that a basic difference, or is the consensus idea a basic difference, or both? What are we proposing that's different to what we have already, or what is imposed on us? What's the difference? What are we proposing that's different?
What's being imposed on us is what we need to boycott and choose alternate ways of receiving information. And I think Robert, in his pamphlet, "We Are Human, We Are Free," describes that perfectly well. In addition to 7 other means of going against the system, because basically the system is our enemy. They are there for themselves, for their own agenda. They are not there for the people. And it's just not one thing that we need to do. There are several things that we need to do on an individual basis. And if we all do this individually, then we will be the force. That's all I have to say.
All right. Well, as I said in the intro, not just now, but on the 22nd of May, at the public meeting, which we succeeded in having in there, and I think that this was an important move. There were at least two major viewpoints, or not viewpoints, but organized parties. I mean, one of them is EPAM, as I mentioned. The other is Vovolis, and Vovolis was not there, but he has important representation here in EGINA. But at the moment, we have two groups. I mean, we don't have a kind of unified movement here in this island. I mean, and I think, given I think that we can at least try and have something here. I mean, that brings together groups that are separate. This is something that Aris Christidis pointed out last week or the week before. He made this point, and because he works together with Dr. Bhakti, we have managed to appeal to Dr. Bhakti to come and talk to us. And presumably he'll be talking to people from both of these groups. Or at least that's what I hope. And this can be a kind of set an example, because I think as things are now, these different groups will probably go, if they're going to be elections, they will go to elections separately. They don't want to work together. And what's likely to happen is what happened in the London municipal elections, where there were about 10 different candidates representing the ideas that we want. Now, I think if we can set an example to overcome this, then that'll be very good. And all right, there are two people now, Lizzie and Robert. Who's
Robert raised first?
I'm in no hurry. I'm happy listening, but I've certainly got something to say when it's appropriate.
Okay. Lizzie?
Well, I think
Okay.
I think this is a really important topic, Wayne, and I'm glad you raised it, because I mean, I've been heavily involved in alternative politics for over 40 years, and this is an ongoing and nagging question. How do you build how do you build the new society, if you like, that's going to supersede a system we've got, which at various levels most of us know is pretty dysfunctional, if not corrupt and utterly exploitative, depending on your perspective. And we're now at a point where, I mean, the whole world is really having it thrown in their face that they've got a choice between a technocratic world order run by a small elite group of technocrats or something utterly different. My experience has been that it's very hard to sort of, if you like, suggest a model of an alternative, whether it's citizens' assemblies or grassroots groups of various types, and actually get anyone to sort of really pick that up in significant numbers. And I think if you look at the world now, I mean, there's really not much evidence of what you call alternative communities thriving. We've probably all got minor versions of them scattered around the country. We've got some up near Nimbin, which Wayne might know, in northern New South Wales. Australia, and there's other places too. Yeah, exactly.
Some things to say about Nimbin. I visited. Sorry to interrupt. I visited Nimbin with my son, and he thought it was Apocryphus. I mean, he thought it was the kind of carnival, that we have here. That was the that was the closest parallel he could see to it.
Anyway,
sorry.
That's all right. So the point is, I think probably most of us have some awareness of alternative communities dotted around the globe, and like the Zeco villages and this sort of thing, and even Monica Hellberg in WFA. She's obviously involved in one and has been part of that movement, and others. So there's different types of model, but my own experience has driven home to me, I think, quite harshly the point that really there's no model that suits everyone, and that's the point about these smaller communities that emerge. And one of the things we specifically did with the We're Human, We're Free campaign was simply suggest that people do things like grow their own food, network with people who've got a similar way of thinking, and look at things like local currencies and local trading schemes and so on. And of course, all of this is the sort of stuff you need if you're going to build an effective local community. So we were sort of, if you like, pushing people gently in the direction of building local community, which I think some people are doing. And I was talking to Mattia before and got a sense of even her own local community, which is obviously, fairly long standing in one sense. But so the point is simply that basically, it seems to me we've got to nudge people in that direction using certain sort of, if you like, ideas, but really just trust that every community that evolves will be unique. It will have its own particular way of dealing with the particular set of problems that relate to its particular local society, its environment, whatever. And so to me, that's sort of the longer term goal. I haven't got any particular thoughts of how that connects with the sort of the mainstream political process, except that my hope is that over time, these local communities become more powerful, much more able to deal effectively with the sort of problems we face as a world community than we're able to do with the current system. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth.
Lizzie, I don't know if you want to say, I've got a couple of things I'd like to say to you, but maybe you want to say things first.
Okay. So I was at the meeting in Egina, and for me, there was not a lot of new information because it was stuff which we all already knew for me, but I found it very interesting to see the mix of people that were there. And I think that is was the strength of the meeting, that it was also for people, like it brought some joy for everybody to see each other again. And the most interesting thing I found, it was because the local newspaper, they were filming it.
Yeah.
And the local newspaper, or they have like a local TV and things, and they never ever said something critical about this whole COVID thing. And I'm sure they are triple vaccinated or whatever. And so they were listening to complete new information, or at least information that they had not heard. So it was like the guy who made the video, and it was also Egina Portals. So 2 of the main sources who give information to the people, local people on Egina, they got a new viewpoints. And I was wondering, like, how would they think about it? And I think if you want to influence people, you never have to. It doesn't work with force, or if you force people in one party. I think it has to be with some fun, or some, the less organized it is, I think the better the information comes, because it doesn't feel like a pressure or something forced upon them. So if there are more meetings like this, when there are some speakers who give good information, I think it's more efficient in giving information, especially on Egina, because I say Egina, although it's very divided in groups.
Yeah.
And as long as you have one main goal, I think people will coming together. But I think the main goal should not be just that we have to have one party or one thing. I think the main goal is that we just live nicely.
Yeah.
I think that is the main goal, and that what I create, because for people that don't know me, I have a beach bar and apartments, and what my goal is here to create a different atmosphere.
And you're succeeding in doing that, if I can judge from last Saturday.
Yeah, because I see people, I say my rooms are differently. I have, each room has a different color, one of the chakras. I have my paintings here. Since this year we do every Saturday or Sunday, we have music night, so I'm singing. And I see that people feel that there is still a normal life.
Yeah.
But although everything changed, still it's the same, and it's people who work here, they make the people really welcome, really like you care about the people. And I think when you organize meetings also in this kind of atmosphere, they not feel threatened. Yeah. Because all the people that have been vaccinated, they have this mechanism around them that they don't, like the Steve Weeks, who I don't know why he's not here, because they're afraid. And actually he's right what they say, like, okay, he did the vaccine, so does he want to learn now that he will die? No, of course he doesn't want to learn that. Or
the thing about Steve, though, is that he's very frank in what he said. I mean, finally, when one pushed him, he doesn't want to commit himself anymore. But he was very frank in what he said about his attitude to the situation.
Yeah,
but and I agree with you. But the point is that as far as electoral politics are concerned, I mean, as the situation is, you have all of these different parties.
Yeah, and, but I think we're going to
can anything be done about it? This is a separate issue from what you were saying.
Yeah.
What you're saying is it's more fun to do things like having meetings of this kind and meetings of like what you had at your place. Yeah. I mean, it's more fun and it's more interesting and it's more human.
Yeah, but maybe we should get rid of the parties.
What happens when there are elections, and you have all of us in about 15 different parties, and all of them none of them get in.
Yeah, but I believe that whole system will collapse in a way. I say that's my opinion. I think it's not working. So maybe the whole thing where we're going into it's more like we're one, and that's the spiritual thing. And maybe at one point it also will go into the political thing, that it doesn't work. It could, even if you have the most best ideas, somebody else will think differently. So and the thing is that if you are in a party, there's, I think, a kind of human mechanism that protects your border. So you are in that party, so you always look at the other party that something is not you, it's different.
That's right. Yeah, that's the way it is. But anyway, you're from Holland and things are happening in Holland now. Do you have an attitude to it?
Yes, with
the farmers and so on.
Here.
What?
I'm happy that I'm here. No, I see that I feel more distance from Holland and from every country. I say the whole political party, it's not so appealing me to at all. I just feel like I'm a world citizen and I'm looking in my helicopter from what's happening, and I think that's where we're heading. I think we were pushed into a war and we were pushed to collapse. I say there's the bad that is pushing us in this war, and there's the good forces, I think, that are pushing us in a war, and what will come out afterwards, it's up to us. Maybe it's not I don't know. I say I think we preparing ourselves, like we're talking also, like we're all different, we're from all different countries, but we're still one. I say we have the same thing. So why should we organize ourselves in a party if we can just agree with this? Why should I give a label that I am with this party or with a pop of, I don't know. I'm not so interested in that. When I go to a meeting, I just listen to the persons. I didn't even know the names. I have no idea whose name belonged to the person. I just listen to his words and I look at what impact it has on the people. I say that's my thing. Okay.
Vivian's hands up.
Vivian, yes.
I heard a combination of what Lizzie and Robert have said. First of all, we've come to depend on a savior. There is no savior. Okay, we have to take our responsibility ourselves.
Exactly.
And that's why, and for many reasons. Number one, because of the corruption. Number two, I totally distrust the political system, be it locally, where I live, in Piraeus, near Piraeus, where my country, well, where I live in this country, Greece, and make it more abroad, born in Canada, totally distrust the system there. Let's make it a bit more globally, the whole damn earth. And I cannot believe in a political system anymore. It's like being in a narcissistic relationship and always believing that they will improve, but damn it, it gets worse and worse and worse. That's the way I feel. And I stress that we have to start taking responsibility. That's why I personally felt that I needed to promote the belief of we are human, we are free, that Robert and the group have developed, because it is flexible. And what Lizzie said, depending on where you live, your own community, I mean, it's individualized, like your rooms, Lizzie, different colors, different chakras. Well, that's the way we all are, because Eyina has done a damn good job doing a variety of things, looking at variety, looking at individuality, and being flexible. But I, living in the city, is a lot more difficult. Even though I'm trying to build a community here, it is a lot more difficult. So I have to be more individual and then spread my wings among the different individual people that are a bit farther, that live a bit farther away from me, living in Athens and further away in Piraeus, etc., etc. So I congratulate Eyina for doing an amazing job in all respects, land, growing crops and whatever, getting together, discussing things, more of a group. Here in the city, it's very difficult. I think I'm one of the, well, for WFA, for the World Freedom Alliance, Athens, I think I'm the only one that lives here. I mean,
yeah.
And it's difficult. And we're talking half of the population of Greece. I mean, come on. Much more difficult. The support system is not there. And that's why I'm grateful that I can rely on my Zoom and my Zoom friends and my international friends, my new friends in my circle. And the other thing that I wanted to stress was we cannot wait for a savior. I'm stressing that. We have to take responsibility. And I like what Robert said, where develop in all that, because there we have the values. There we have, as beautifully as Anita and Robert have stated, conscious, the feeling of taking responsibility and how we as individuals feel. That's all I have to say.
Vivian, do you think that SYNEPEIA are wasting their time trying to get the different tendencies to work together? I mean, that's their declared support, their declared aim.
I went to their first meeting. My heart says, I hope they succeed.
Yeah. My
brain says, damn it, it's a waste of time. So yeah. I'm being fickle. I'm being fickle. Yeah. Yeah.
No, fickle's not the word.
No, fickle's not the word. I'm trying to find the word.
No,
I've been in Greece too long now, Wayne. Help me.
Right, yeah. So
ambivalent. That's
ambivalent. Yeah.
Thank you. Damn it, it's being recorded. Oh, good. Oh, well. So that's all I have to say. Yeah.
Right.
I hope they can manage to get all these groups together. It would be nice, but we're also dealing with a personality called a Greek character, where I don't know where this video is going to be shown, but our ego as a people is very high, and I really don't like it. We don't let go. We really don't let go. Our pride. I don't even call it pride. It's nice to have pride. I think it's not nice to have so much ego, and that's what's ruling us in this country.
Right.
And I'm not giving my address where I live. Bye, guys.
No. Lizzie, is your hand still up or what?
Yes.
Yeah. I think this whole thing, it has to do also with the spiritual growth. Like what you say with egos, that is exactly like I am important, but we're not important as the persons. It's as you can see that it's not about you, the whole thing. Then you can unite the people. And also to say the image that you say about Egina, it's also it's a bit too positive, because it's not everywhere on Egina that people are talking together and they're growing their crops. I say what I'm doing here is unusual, and how I think or how Wayne thinks, and the meeting, it's also unusual because there is a lot of people that are not ready to think like that. They're very jealous. I say that's Egina, one of the things, like if you see that your neighbor is doing well, you're not thinking like how you can improve yourself. No, you think that how you can steal something from your neighbor, or you make a mini-C, or this is the way how they're thinking. They're not looking at their own qualities. And I think that is something which is really important, because we're all unique. If we're looking at our own uniqueness, then you can make one big fantastic party with all the qualities that we have. But it's all about personalities and egos, and I have accomplished this. And I think when the leaders of the parties would be more or less more in a spiritual higher growth, that they understand it's not about them, I think everything will change. So maybe we're not looking for a savior, but maybe somebody who can unite and could put himself not on this pedestal.
Or like Robert said, a new system might come out of this that we cannot visualize right now. And as for Egina, no, it's not an utopia. Definitely not.
No.
But at least it's small enough, being an island, where you can reach out. Your support is reachable versus my support is a bit farther. It's like I cannot take the boat over to Egina the whole time. And yes, do you see what I mean?
But you have also the strength. Like the only thing what we can do is we can be an example for other people, and you do it in your way, I do it here, and Wayne is doing it. And I think when that is the contagious thing, like is we just are stimulated and keep positive of doing our little things, then it's okay.
And you know what, Lizzie? And that is called higher frequency. And higher frequency, you gain a lot more than having lower frequency, because hate and ego and all those are lower frequency. I mean, we're getting into the spiritual stuff right now, but I mean, I really believe in energy, higher vibration.
And also be not disappointed, like, because not everybody's on the same frequency, and that's fine too.
Exactly.
So I think also we should not expect that everybody should be on our own frequency, because I believe there always are leaders, and there always are people, okay, they don't care, they're just followers. I say this is how it is, and it doesn't to put other people down, but that is just how people are made. I say there were always leaders, and that you see, look at the animal world, there are always leaders in the groups. And but you have natural leaders and leaders that are maybe get into the leadership because they are in a rich family or they are pushed. And I think that's why we have wrong leaders, because they're not natural leaders, that they're pushed in this position for the wrong reasons. And also, I think
that cats have leaders? Talking about animals, do cats have leaders?
Yeah.
They do.
I say, and also you have the survive. I say, you see, I have lots of cats around. I say some they survive and some they do not survive. You see, when the kids are born, there's some who are able to survive. I say, just look, and it's not a very nice environment, I must say. They're very tough on each other, the cats and the dogs, and to survive. So I think also we should understand that it's a way the way to survival, and that's where we're in. And you see it in our group also. Some people, they keep on staying in the group, and some people, they find their own other communities where they find more connected, or they find that their talents are more.
Or they find nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, I say that's it is. I say we should not be angry with that and just accept who it is. Who should be here is here, and that's it.
Robert was asking a comment from Nikos, which Nikos replied in writing, but I don't know if he wants to speak.
I'm both for parties and direct democracy of active citizens, maybe not of everybody that doesn't want to participate this period. I'm not sure because maybe participating in parties enforces the system. But from what I see, at least in my small city, it's not that small, but people, even if they criticize parties, they are educated in this. So we can spread our message, at least in a country like Greece, through parties for people to turn back the power to people. That's my opinion for the moment. I have been in a party that was promoting that forms also in the party of direct democracy. I think that in the end it doesn't makes use of direct democracy that much, but in the beginning it seemed that they will do it. I think we can always insist and in the parties that some of us will participate, ask to bring forward these ideas and that mainly decide in the party through direct democracy and consensus, not through leaders that decide what the rest should follow. That's my opinion.
Felon Vovolis is obviously modeling himself on the style of Andreas Papandreou, although not the politics of Andreas Papandreou, but he's trying to give the impression of being that kind of an individual, kind of politician. Is this going to be to his advantage or not? I mean, I think it's producing a kind of complexity. It's producing, I think, a kind of reaction amongst other politicians like Kazakis that have a completely different style. And I think, since we're talking about, I don't think it's just a matter of Greeks, by the way. I think this is a problem. This is a problem everywhere. I mean, it's a problem in Australia, although I would say that if I were in Australia, there is a party there that I would support, but I'm not, and I can't vote there in any way. But I think there is a question of style. I mean, when you have someone trying to be a traditional kind of leader in a very obvious way, this makes other kinds of politicians, it rubs them the wrong way. And I think this is not just Greeks. Sorry, if anyone. Yeah. Vivian has to go. All right. Yes.
Sorry,
I don't know. Should we continue? Should we continue for the whole hour, or make a shorter video? What do you say, Nico?
For Vovolis,
Vivian has to leave now. I mean,
yes. I don't know. We can continue a little bit.
Well, if people want to continue, and bearing in mind that a 40-minute video is likely to be watched more than an hour video, but I don't know, whatever people want.
Okay. Whatever the rest want. I wanted to comment that I didn't notice that Vovolis had the style of Papandreou until.
Did you see his introductory speech at the conference, at the first party conference?
Yes.
Very, very Papandreou style.
Yes. Maybe because I lived while Papandreou was prime minister, but I don't have that reflexes to recognize when someone tries to imitate him.
I don't think it was just imitation,
of course, Greek
but it was similarity, spontaneous.
Yes, of course, Greek people remember and sometimes unconsciously follow figures that remind them of Papandreou, because there were golden years, let's say, of the modern Greek democracy. Yes, I think people still recognize this. Even Tsipras was criticized or commented that he's mimicking Papandreou.
Yeah.
I think many people followed him also for that reason.
Yeah.
But yes, but sure, these all leaders, political leaders of small parties, they must unite. I don't think that Vovelis alone can do something. I don't know. We will see in the future, but I don't think that we will vote just for one leader now, because it reminds the people of Papandreou.
No, I don't think it'll be enough on its own. Yeah, Lizzie wants to say something.
But don't you? This is my question. Do you really think that even who is chosen in the government in Greece, is it not completely infiltrated? With the WEF thing. I say they have two puppets there. So maybe more. Do we talk about people? Do they really have any chance if the governments all over the world are completely infiltrated and the puppets from them, they're on their right spots?
Well, how does one answer that? I mean, there is obviously resistance to it, and how much that expresses itself. I mean, I feel that someone like, I think that there are politicians that are trying to do things.
Do they really have a chance again?
I don't know. I don't think they know. Who knows?
I think they hope.
They hope, yeah.
If you look worldwide, I say like Canada is lost, France is lost, Holland is lost. Go on. I say they're all lost. I say now.
Well, I don't know. I have the feeling that there's some kind of game being played here. I mean, they're being politicians are being made to behave so atrociously that perhaps this is an agenda. Someone wants to this situation in order to produce the opposite. I don't know. Who knows? This is speculation.
No, I don't think it's speculation, because it's really, I say Klaus Schwab even says that he has infiltrated the government. Yeah. I say so. They work on it not for 1 year. They work on it for many years. So you see, like what is happening in France, like all the elections that are rigged. They're not elections anymore that make any sense like a democracy. So.
Well, are they going to succeed though in doing this? I mean, it's becoming so blatant. I mean, what can one say? I don't know. This is.
Everyone saw the movie 3,000 Mules, the documentary?
No.
Oh,
I heard about it.
You all should all watch.
Yeah, because it's about that, about the American elections. Yeah, I say that's the thing. I think we are aware of it since maybe the elections with Trump that is rigged, but it's going on for so long.
Yeah.
But when we were still, we were not awake, or we were not aware that it was going on. But my boyfriend is French, and he doesn't know anybody who voted for Macron.
No.
And the day before the elections, there was the result from the islands which are outside of France, which has like the Greek government. And the Le Pen, she was far ahead. And the next day, you see what is happening. You see, and the thing is that nobody, because it's so difficult to believe that in democratic countries there is no democracy anymore. They don't believe that. But also they, at one point, their heads know that it doesn't make sense what is happening. Because how can a person be elected when if you ask around, nobody votes for the person? So.
Well, I don't think it's true that nobody votes for them. And there is a kind of, in France particularly, a lot of people who don't like Macron, they don't want Le Pen. So, it depends on who your reference group is and what your friends believe. If you have all the people around you have a certain view, then you might think that the whole society has this view. But I mean, I don't know.
I think this is the more interesting, I think, movements like if there are investigations coming, like we said, to really find out this whole thing. Because when that comes out, I say maybe it's another way for people to wake up, like that they're completely fooled. I say I'm in the organization in Holland where you go out of the system because I say we're slaves and this whole thing. I see more and more people joining those groups too, that they don't want to be in a party, they just want to be totally separated from the corporate company, the Netherlands.
Yeah,
because it's a company, and okay, company needs a good leader, but unfortunately at this moment not the democratic chosen leaders are in charge. I think that I think there's so much going on, but it's also I find it a very interesting time. I say, and also what I see with because I'm doing healings, I work with energy and with the pendulum. I see like all the diseases that I see that people have, and you trace them back to the trauma that they have experienced in their life, and also you can take it away easily. And so we are so responsible for our own bodies and for our own thing. Like, do we really need the government? I said, do we? Of course, you need some.
The government needs us, though.
Yeah, but nobody realized that if we all stood up, then I say, who are they? But it's yeah, it's a very interesting time what is happening now, and I think I say the things are moving very quickly, especially when everybody in summer is looking. Say now everything is free in Greece.
Yeah,
we have more cases than ever. People are very disappointed because they are now wearing the mask themselves, so they not have to wear a mask, but they do it themselves.
They do it voluntarily, right?
Yeah, like the supermarket, the director of Nikos is telling their employees to wear masks. They're not have to wear it by law, but they're doing it themselves. So people are now so brainwashed. They're wearing something which is not working, and it's even bad for their health.
Yeah. They don't think about it. Well, obviously, I don't know.
Now we know.
People don't seem to think about it,
No.
People don't realize that it's bad.
What do you say?
People truly don't understand that it's not healthy.
No, they don't. And because nobody is telling them. And it's also very difficult to tell them because I say they have been told the opposite for years.
Yeah.
So it's only like I'm happy, but I'm all the time when I'm entering the supermarket, I feel so sorry for, especially the young people who without any necessity, they're wearing the masks.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm happy that we not have the rules, but okay, we're now supposed to look the different side and make money and enjoy summer and whatever. But okay, it will be different in a few months. I say.
Well, yeah, that's what everyone's expecting.
Yeah. And Catarina Muchacho, she was invited to this meeting, or?
Well, she was notified about it, but look, I think you're the best person for talking to her because I don't know you. I think she would be more likely to listen to you than to anyone else that I know in Egina. But anyway, I'm going to talk to Dimitris Tsibouris about that because he has been talking to her. But of course, he's an old man like me, so anyway, he's been talking to her, so we'll see.
Okay.
Well, who's in charge?
Technically me, but we can close if you.
Let's close then, unless anyone objects.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I think it's Thanks very much, and I'm glad it's. Unfortunately, Ellen Brown couldn't participate. She would have liked to, I think, but I mean, it's 3:00 in the morning in California, so she couldn't. Now, here's Vangeli. Sorry, you've come at the end now. Sorry, well, Vangelis can say, sorry. Go on. Hi, Vangeli. Why are you coming at this time?
Hi, Wayne. Hi, Nico. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How is everything?
Well, I think we've had quite an interesting discussion. It'll be online, and I think it's still online, isn't it? we haven't turned off the recording yet.
It's still recording.
Wonderful.
So Vangeli, there are some famous last words for you.
Thank you. Sorry to ask you, but what have you discussed? Just to comment on, I mean.
Yeah, well, I did make a statement at the beginning, which lasted, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 minutes. And then the rest of the time there's been discussion on that, which is wasn't all on that. It's been moved on to related topics. Yes. And I think anyway, it's going to be online, so you'll see it. So I take it that you couldn't get here early because you're in your office and so on. Is that the situation? Sorry, can you hear Vangeli? Can you hear me? I don't know. He's turned off his microphone.
Maybe let's stop the recording. I think.
Yeah.
More professional.
All right.
There we go. Thank you all.
I have to go. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye. When I stop recording.
Right.